Shalom everybody, I'm John Reed Austin for Wine, Oil, Bread for Heart, giving you our annual update of our accomplishments from ministering to the people of Guatemala and La Tinta, and then also Juarez, Mexico. The year 2022 began here with our first trip to Guatemala. We had been there since the tail end of 2021 and into the new year. We went to La Tinta and visited several villages and places of refuge where displaced families were sheltered. They had been particularly hit hard from the torrential flooding. So with the donations that we had received from several congregations, especially Gateway on Mount Zion Church, we purchased food and gave it to the farmers who had lost all of their crops, and we also gave them a concert. In February, it was our first of several trips to Juarez, Mexico. We met with contractors to negotiate bids for the Kids Center and Amanahilda's house that is in desperate need of restoration. We settled on a contractor and we began fundraising towards the construction of the Kids Center. And the budget was initially $11,500 to restore the house and build the addition that would be used for the Kids Center. Now in March, we returned to Mexico for a second time. This time we came prepared to do some outdoor concerts and another at a church that we support there called Monte de Santidad. We also gave them food and clothes for the street children living in a place called Kilometer 20, otherwise known as 20 kilometers. It's a commercial landfill of construction materials, and they live there. In April, we took our trailer to Indiana, where a large Messianic congregation was holding a Passover. They had donated a large amount of toys, and we also did some fundraising for the projects in Mexico. We were also in the final stages of our new CD called Awaken the Fire. In May, we had reached 75% of our projected budget goal towards the Kids Center at Amanahilda's house, which was roughly $8,000. In June, we released the CD Awaken the Fire, visited several churches to help raise funds toward the completion of the Kids Center. In July, we continued fundraising. We did a CD release at Gateway on Mount Zion Church. And then we had our second trip to Guatemala and recorded a music video for our CD Awaken the Fire. In August, we paid off our contractor for Amanahilda's home and the Kids Center. Initially, the contractor claimed that he had finished the construction. He charged us $260 over the budget that we agreed on, and an additional $250 in fees for wiring the money. The total came to $12,000, and we had to fire him because the project was still incomplete, and a lot of discrepancies upon inspection were visible. So the project was nearly complete, but what we had to do is we had to cut our losses and start searching for another person to finish the project. Now we moved to September. We continued to finish the project at Amanahilda's house, which included getting up to code, the floors, ceilings, the windows and doors. And then in November, approaching the holiday season, we continued fundraising for our third trip to Mexico. And this also included distributing the toys that we had received from Messiah's New Life Tabernacle in Avila, Indiana. And this was particularly a huge success. Then late December, we would receive the largest donation ever in the history of our ministry. There was many summer apparel that in the form of clothes and shoes that came from pallets from the Gateway on Mount Zion Church. And so we ended up taking 2 vans and packed the trailer back to Mexico for our 4th trip. And we felt the urgency to go because it was, the need is very desperate there. So we wrapped up our trip by doing a concert for the New Year's Eve at the Monte de Santidad Church that we support. And we gave clothes to the children at Kilometer 20. And we began a new project called Kids Diner at Kilometer 20 so that a center could be built there for these children. And they had begun building the walls already with the purpose upon completion to prepare and give meals on a weekly basis. Now, we don't have a budget for this project because it is primarily being built by the people of the congregation with their own hands. And all we are doing is just purchasing the supplies and renting bulldozers to clear a plot of land. So we purchase as money comes available or as it is needed. So far, we've contributed around $1,500. And then we donated our van to the pastor in Mexico as we felt led of the Spirit. So on behalf of Wine Oil Bread for Heart Ministries, we'd like to give you a special thanks to all those who've contributed to our ministry and helping the forgotten ones. Without your support, this would have not been possible. So I'd like to thank personally Gateway on Mount Zion Church in Golden, Colorado. I'd like to thank David Clifton Ministries in Lakewood, Colorado. I'd like to thank Congregation Royal Israel in Denver, Colorado. Dwelling Place Church in Golden, Colorado, Castlewood Canyon Church in Franktown, Colorado, Iglesia Elim in Arvada, Colorado, and Messiah's New Life Tabernacle in Avila, Indiana. Thank you so much, Royal. We love you. Shalom.